day 90. He wakes feeling sharper, focus clicking into place without effort. By day 180, that clarity becomes baseline. Day 365. The brain he's built operates at a level that once required stimulants and sheer willpower. Most men expect linear gains, each week better than the last. Reality delivers waves, energy surges, flatlines, breakthroughs, then integration. Understanding the actual timeline prevents abandoning the practice right before transformation solidifies. The body doesn't move in straight lines. It moves in phases, each building the next. The first 3 months trigger a brain recalibration. Your brain doesn't transform overnight. It adapts gradually, rewiring circuits that have operated one way for years. Understanding these early shifts helps you recognize what's happening inside your skull when urges spike or focus sharpens unexpectedly. The dopamine system resets first. Here's what happens. Frequent ejaculation creates a pattern where dopamine, your brain's feel-good chemical, surges during sexual release, then crashes afterward. Your brain adapts to this cycle, expecting regular hits. When retention begins, that expectation goes unmet. Dopamine receptors, previously overstimulated, start recovering their sensitivity. Experience shows this process mirrors addiction recovery. Your thinking brain, responsible for decision-making and impulse control, begins reclaiming authority from the reward-seeking circuits that previously dominated. This reset doesn't feel comfortable. Days 3 through 14 often bring heightened irritability. Your brain protests the missing dopamine surge. Energy fluctuates wildly, moments of laser focus, followed by mental fog. This happens because your reward system is recalibrating its baseline. Instead of chasing the next release, brain resources redirect toward executive functions like planning, concentration, and emotional regulation. By week 4, observable changes emerge. Mental clarity sharpens. You sit at your desk, and the work that usually requires coffee and willpower suddenly flows. Tasks that fragmented your attention now hold it. This occurs because your thinking brain has started operating more efficiently, without constant interference from reward-seeking impulses. Stress resilience improves as well. Your hormonal system stabilizes, ending the spike crash pattern that previously drained energy reserves. Then comes the flatline. Somewhere between weeks 4 and 8, many men hit a wall. Libido vanishes, energy drops, motivation dulls. This phase confuses practitioners who expect linear progress, but it's a critical adaptation period. Your brain is consolidating new pathways, pruning old ones. Think of it like renovation. The construction phase looks messy, but the structure underneath is strengthening. He wakes at 6 a.m. on day 47. The alarm sounds, and instead of hitting snooze 3 times, his eyes open. Feet hit the floor. He notices it halfway through breakfast. No brain fog, no dragging exhaustion. At work, a colleague derails the meeting with complaints. Normally, this triggers frustration, a mental spiral that kills the next hour. Today, he listens, nods, redirects the conversation. The irritation surfaces, but it doesn't hijack him. He observes it, lets it pass. The meeting ends productively. Walking to his car that evening, he realizes he hasn't thought about porn once all day. The urges that ambushed him during week 2 have simply quieted. Managing early urges determines success. When impulses spike, the key isn't willpower, it's redirection. Physical movement helps, push-ups, a cold shower, a walk outside. These actions interrupt the urge loop before it gains momentum. Mindfulness practices train your brain to observe cravings without acting on them, strengthening the same inhibitory control circuits that activate during early abstinence. Expect gradual changes, not superhuman abilities. The first 90 days aren't about unlocking secret powers. They're about stabilizing brain chemistry and building foundations. Testosterone levels may fluctuate slightly, but the real transformation happens in how your brain allocates resources. Energy once burned on constant hormonal cycling now fuels sustained performance. These initial adaptations set the stage for what comes next. The brain pathways established in the first 3 months create the platform for deeper changes through months 4 through 12, when retention's long-term effects truly compound. Early phase maps the terrain. Middle and advanced phases reveal where that foundation leads, structural changes that turn temporary discipline into permanent capacity. The early adaptations from months 1 through 3 establish the foundation. What comes next represents true transformation. Your brain doesn't just stabilize, it evolves. From month 4 through day 365, retention triggers structural changes that compound into lasting cognitive advantages. Advanced neuroplasticity accelerates after month 4. Here's the thing. Brain regions responsible for decision-making and impulse control physically expand. Time and again, we see increased gray matter volume in the thinking brain, the command center for planning, focus, and self-regulation. This isn't metaphorical. Brain scans reveal measurable structural growth. Why this occurs? When your brain stops allocating constant resources to sexual reward circuits, those resources redirect toward building new neural connections in executive function areas. Your brain literally reshapes itself. By month 6, emotional regulation reaches a new baseline. You encounter setbacks that previously derailed you for days. A project fails. A relationship ends. Your stress alarm still activates, but it no longer hijacks your entire system. You process disappointment, learn from it, move forward within hours instead of weeks. This happens because your hormonal system has stabilized completely. Testosterone levels maintain steady elevation without the previous spike crash cycles. Stress hormones balance out faster. Your thinking brain maintains authority even under pressure. Month 8 brings creative surges. Ideas arrive with unusual clarity. Solutions to problems emerge during mundane moments, washing dishes, walking, sitting in traffic. This occurs because brain pathways connecting different regions have strengthened. Information flows more efficiently between memory centers, pattern recognition areas, and creative processing zones. Your brain operates as an integrated network rather than isolated departments competing for resources. He's 6 months deep into retention. A conflict erupts at work. A colleague publicly challenges his judgment in a team meeting. Faces turn toward him. The room waits for his response. He feels the anger rising, the impulse to defend, to attack back. But something different happens. The emotion surfaces, peaks, then passes. He sees it clearly now. The colleague is stressed about performance reviews, lashing out from fear. He pauses 3 seconds. I hear your concern. Let's discuss the data after this meeting when we have time to review it properly. The tension deflates. Later, the colleague apologizes privately. They solve the actual problem in 20 minutes. A year ago, that meeting would have escalated into weeks of workplace tension. Months 10 through 12 reveal sustained high performance. Energy stabilizes at levels that previously required caffeine, pre-workout supplements, and sheer willpower. Now it's baseline. Morning alertness arrives naturally. Afternoon crashes vanish. Mental endurance extends. You work on complex tasks for hours without attention fragmenting. This happens because synaptic efficiency has improved. Brain cells communicate with less wasted energy. Your nervous system operates at optimal capacity. Physical integration amplifies benefits. Retention combined with regular exercise creates synergistic effects. Your brain produces more growth factors that support neural health. Stress resilience compounds. Sleep quality improves, which accelerates brain repair processes. Your body becomes a unified system where each positive input multiplies returns. Day 365 arrives. He wakes before dawn without an alarm. There's a project he's been developing for months, something that matters, that challenges him. He sits down and works for 3 hours straight. The focus is effortless, almost meditative. His partner texts about dinner plans. He responds thoughtfully, then returns to work without losing momentum. Later, at the gym, he pushes through a plateau he's faced for weeks. The weight moves. After dinner, his partner mentions a concern about finances. Instead of deflecting or getting defensive, he listens fully. They map out a plan together in 30 minutes. Before sleep, he reflects. A year ago, this day would have required enormous effort, multiple stimulants, and emotional discipline he didn't possess. Today, it was simply normal. The brain he's built through 365 days of retention has made excellence ordinary. The misconception is that benefits plateau. They don't. Experience tracking recovery from compulsive behaviors shows continued improvement well past 6 months. Gray matter increases persist. Functional connectivity strengthens. Your brain keeps adapting as long as the practice continues. These aren't temporary tricks, they're permanent upgrades to neural architecture. Integrate retention into a complete lifestyle for maximum impact. Combine it with quality sleep, nutrient-dense food, physical training, and meaningful work. Each element supports brain optimization. The retention provides the neurological foundation. Other practices build on it. Notice what happens when initial dopamine resets from months 1-3. Enable the structural changes of months 4-12. Early discomfort purchases long-term capacity. The thinking brain that struggled against urges in week 2 now operates with natural authority at month 10. Every phase connects. The 365-day timeline isn't arbitrary. It represents complete transformation, from initial adaptation through advanced integration. Early months stabilize brain chemistry and build mental foundations. Advanced months create lasting structural upgrades to focus and emotional control. This week, track your patterns. When does focus feel sharpest? When do urges surface strongest? Write down 3 specific moments daily where mental clarity improved or wavered. Notice connections between retention timeline and actual performance. Drop your current day count and biggest shift noticed in the comments. Hit like if this timeline clarity helped. Subscribe for weekly retention strategies grounded in how your brain actually works. Your transformation compounds daily when you understand the phases.